Peace, Chiefs and Deers. It's Bronzebird here with another video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you. So today is just going to be a thought-provoking video, a straightforward video, in which I believe that when it comes to certain cities, that is, they take it. They're usually the catalyst to how the rest of the country is going to operate. Now, of course, you understood from the mandates that's been going on around the country since Karina started that they wanted to take more precautions on getting people to work, and that a lot of people decided to go along with something that's called the Great Resignation to finally make money off of different apps or different websites, especially because a lot of brothers like to talk about how women is making money off of OnlyFans and all these different things like that. And, you know, people is following wave. I mean, look, listen, I definitely do honor the fact of the matter that Karina has made or spread an activity where people can make money at home. They don't have to go back into the workforce. But also, this has created a whole entire global metamorphosis for individuals to finally understand that corporate America is not for them, and that they should be able to be free to travel wherever they want to go and still be able to make money the best way they know how. I understand it's not hard. You can do it. You know, everybody's able to get from point A to point B financially if they put their minds to it, which I believe is a great thing in this society. But Mayor Eric Adams, the new mayor of New York City, wanted to take it upon himself because it's failing in New York, where he wants to be able to have people come back into the workforce, which has been a struggle for a while, especially with the pandemic, like I said, and because of the strict mandates that he had put upon the city that was governed from Mayor de Blasio that he continued to follow up on. And so those, which was what, less than 1% of the population, decided not to take the juice, as one of the YouTubers say, or the jab, or this, that, and the third. They decided to say, hey, we're not doing that. And there's been a bad force of trying to find work if you didn't take the jab or the juice and all this other stuff. And, you know, people have found their way, some people have not. So the reason I make this video today is because I'm just giving an analysis. I'm honestly curious if Mayor Adams' plans is going to be something that's going to reverberate around the rest of the country, where they're going to instill these laws or instill these different things where they want people to come back to the workforce, and how lucrative it will be or non-lucrative it will be depending on, you know, the severity of how far and aggressive he goes with it. So I'll give my commentary as the video plays. Peep. Fair use.
Example. That is the goal of New York Mayor Adams and why he is now ordering all city employees back to work.
That means no more working from home. And with COVID cases ticking back up, as you can imagine, there are some unhappy people about it.
Eyewitness News reporter Joe Torres is in Lower Manhattan with the details. Joe.
Hey, we're also talking about two things that just happened. So we're talking the monkeypox, and then we're also talking about Legionnaire disease that was actually just found out last week. So I just find it ironic all this stuff is going on, but he's like, you must get back to work.
So, Liz and David, the mayor's thinking goes like this. How can he ask New York City's banks, law firms, brokerage houses to bring their employees back to the offices when municipal workers enjoy the privilege of a hybrid schedule or working completely from home? Well, the mayor says those days are over. City employees, it's back to the office. And the mayor says that's not a suggestion. That's an order.
I mean, if we're saying it's an order, though, like what is he going to institute to make that happen, right? Because the thing about it is, if he institutes that, is there a fine, or is it because it's going to be a fine on your taxes next year? You know, I just want people to think, because it's one of those sort of things where people in Great Resignation is like, well, screw this. I'd rather stay home and work. I'm tired of corporate America. I'm tired of that. And every American has the right of doing that. But what Mayor Adams tends to forget, a lot of these strategies he's putting in place is making New York residents want to leave, because already 300,000 New Yorkers said, goodbye, New York, I'm moving somewhere else. Even those that want to stay close to New York, if they don't want to stay in New York itself, they're going to New Jersey. I mean, honestly, look at what is going on in this city.
Throughout the coronavirus pandemic, it has served as a welcome option for many of the 300,000 plus city employees. Work from home.
I would love a hybrid schedule. I much prefer that. I think that's much more humane. I think it'd be more productive. It would save me a ton of dough with commuting costs.
But a not so subtle reminder arrived yesterday in the mailbox of every municipal worker, and it came from the mayor's chief of staff. It read, in part, all city employees should be advised that, absent a reasonable accommodation, you are required to report to work in person for every scheduled workday, and hybrid schedules of any kind are not permitted. Cheryl Lee works as an elder abuse coordinator in the city's Department for the Aging.
Well, I think that's using us as pawns. You know, you're not looking at the prevalence of COVID.
Oh, I mean, you're already pawned by the fact of the matter that you have an ID in New York. I mean, that's just what it is. But, you know, it's very concerning on how far he's going to take with it. But I'm just wondering what is going to be implemented to make sure that every single person in New York City that works is going to have to go back to work. Like, it's going to be your taxes? Is it going to be where you live? Like, what is it going to be?
You know, coming back, being in and out. So I think it's a very, you know, just a weird stance to take, not considering your workers.
For his part, the mayor wants city workers to lead by example by returning to the office full time. At a Wall Street power breakfast this morning, Mayor Eric Adams encouraged business leaders to do the same, bring private sector employees back to the largely empty Manhattan offices, a move he calls critical to New York's economic recovery.
Economic recovery when private sector workers, you didn't even want them to work because of the fact of the matter you did that ridiculous mandate to get the jab. How does Mayor Adams not understand that? But then he gave way to sports teams such as trying to get Kyrie Irving to come back and play for the Brooklyn Nets. What do you not understand? And everybody knows that he was a hypocrite for doing that. So it's just very astonishing that he decided to say, you must come back so we can recover. Like, no, dude, listen, you did not make it fair for New York residents to be able to work to their best ability, but you're forcing them to come back into the workforce. When they already got used to being like, hey, we can work from home, we can make money and this, that, and the third. It's not about them anymore. Well, it's not about him. He's not about, it's ways you could take this, but it's not about the company anymore. It's about people's individuality and freedom. He doesn't want that.
I'm trying to fill up office buildings, and I'm telling JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, I'm telling all of them, listen, I need your people back into office so we can build the ecosystem.
We need to see people in the Dwayne Reeds of the world. We need to see them in the coffee.
You already do. Like, that's one thing that I can't stand when people say, this man that's talking. You see them in there, okay? There's plenty of people that's in there. Is it a lot of people that's in the workforce? Probably not. There's people out there that I've always heard about how there's these work shortages and all this other stuff, and I know that. But to sit up there and say that the basic needs is not met and that you don't have municipal workers in the workforce and people who's working in retail, oh, come on now.
Shops and the luncheonettes, and if they're not here, those businesses can't survive.
Now, the mayor's...
Well, before you finish, we also have to take into the fact of the matter, the high inflation of rent, and when it comes to ownership of these buildings, that is completely forgotten about how many storefronts have been torn down, and there's been this stop work order that's happened around the city. Come on now. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that that's one of the ideas. That is something that is true, but you have to still talk about how a lot of these businesses can't stay open because the rent that they're paying is too much. Their stores can't survive. These loans is not helping them. So it's more than that.
Order comes nearly 2 weeks after the city's public advocate told his staffers they can work remotely for the next 30 days. This after an uptick in COVID cases. So there you have it. Mixed messages from city leaders at a time when New Yorkers seek unity and consensus.
I mean, at the end of the day, New York City is going in flames. It's dead. Peace.